What you're currently watching here is a player who's about to set the ball to his teammate on the left. Can you identify what the problem is in this play? Although there might be multiple, the main issue here is the type of style this guy is using as a setter. There are a lot of very distinct playstyle archetypes in Volleyball Legends, ranging from a passive all the way up to the most aggressive style of play you can think of. And if you're bad at the game, it might not be fully dependent on your playing capabilities, because as we all know, the character style you use vastly determines the way you operate on the court. And not everyone meshes well with the same character styles. So I would make it my mission to help you guys figure out what character you should use based on the type of Volleyball Legends player you are. And hopefully by the end you'll be able to exponentially increase your gameplay by refining your skills on whichever card you decide is best fit for you. So without further ado, let's find out what secret style you should main. As we all know, cut and cross-shotting is a skill that takes practice to master. Because if you were to tell a noob, hey noob, I'll give you 10,000 Robux right now if you make just one cross-shot, no matter how much money you put on the line, that poor guy will never see those bills hit his account. But once you get used to this mechanic, it will be a lot more effective if you use either Sanu or Jinko. Both of these styles have the ability to manipulate the ball's trajectory by using one of your tilt buttons, making it have a more aggressive spin depending on what direction you want the ball to go. And if it hasn't clicked in your head yet, doing cut/cross shots with these two is an insanely overpowered combo. You can literally get the ball to kiss the other pole of the net by just using tilt, and the chances of people getting it is pretty low depending on the accuracy and players you're facing. Being the backbone of the team is definitely not for the weak, since without you, countless amount of points will be scored, eventually getting y'all blown out the water. But what if I told you that there is a secret style out there who can significantly improve the chances of recovering a ball, and that player is none other than Kiki. Oh wait, before you skip this part of the video, you just have to hear me out. I know everyone and their mother, myself included, would not be caught dead with this guy's name above their head. But if you really want to win a game, especially when playing in 3s or above, Kiki can become a key component of the team's structure because he's the sole individual who has the greatest chance above anyone to keep the ball afloat. And his ability is not that boring to use. Predicting where the ball will land, in my opinion, is pretty entertaining, and when you make a crazy save, you can expect to see a message from that one kid every once in a while straight blazing you, bro. Which I won't lie, feels pretty damn good. Jack of all trades can't stick with one specific aspect of the game and instead decides it's a good idea to fit all parts of it into his tiny little body. Don't get me wrong, in the new game mode of 1v1 rank, this is an awesome plan since it is literally only you that can decide the fate of the match. But most people like having a life and prefer to keep their sanity outside the game. But if you really want to feel like you're in charge, then the two main guys you could use to assure you of this are the Twins and Yogon. Both being all-rounders in everything that you can do, with Twins allowing you to switch from a setter to a spiker with just one click, while Yogon charges up his stats as the game goes on. With this in mind, anything in the game can be done at the highest level, setting no boundaries on the creativity of your imagination. So whatever you want to do can probably be done with these guys. This person can really use anyone he wants because at the end of the day, his contribution to the team is little to none. Actually, now that I think about it, he probably does more harm than good. But if I were forced to choose one, I would most likely go with secret style Kazuna. Kazuna is a character who defies all laws of gravity, jumping higher than the net itself, making it easy to spike sets from basically any height. This proves advantageous, and if you're gonna ape, at least you'll be able to get the ball before your enemies can even get their feet off the ground. But I would highly advise learning a true playstyle instead of just smacking balls with no purpose. Unarguably the smartest player in volleyball, a team's strength is incredibly dependent on the playmaker's capabilities. The smarter the decisions they make, the more dangerous their team will become. And I don't really even have to say the position that best suits them, since most of you guys can come to the conclusion by yourself that intelligent players tend to make for a great setter in this game. And as we all know, the two most efficient setters are Taicho and Timeskip Kageyama. So either style will do, each having their own perks setting them apart from the other. If you are this guy, then you are characterized as the brains of the operation, and it is up to you if your team will come out on top or sink to the depths of hell. So lock in, twin. Learning shift lock is a top 3 thing you can do for yourself to improve as a player, and sooner or later most of the player base will come to the realization that this skill is a must if you ever want to see your name on the top of the leaderboards. The reason this mechanic is so effective is because you can consistently catch your opponents off guard, since they only have a split second to react when you reveal the place you were aiming for all along. And something that mixes extremely well with this is power. The more power, the faster the reaction time needed to retrieve a ball, the harder it is to defend. So it should come as no surprise that the styles which perfectly fit the shoes of shift lock are Hidari and time skip Hinto. Both being power spikers, these two are great for changing the pace of a match. But even with how similar they are, one takes more skill than the other in my opinion, and that is TSH. Unlike Hidari, which has its spike power predetermined based on what hand you're hitting with, TSH forces you to charge up your strength by walking in a certain direction for a certain amount of time. So at first it could be tricky to time your run and power charge depending on where the ball will land once your setter hands it to you. But trust me, once you master this, you'll become unstoppable. If you weren't aware, there's a mechanic when using advanced controls that allows you to change the power of your set, bump, and spike just by holding down your set or bump button. So if that is you, Secret Style Jinko is definitely the card that is calling your name. Jinko's spike is largely determined on the amount of power you put behind your hit. If you barely put any, the ball will curve for a longer period of time compared to when you hit it at full power, in which minimal curve will be applied. Once you try it out for yourself, you'll realize that Jinko's a very good spiker card to use, and you can only imagine how broken it used to be prior to the style getting nerfed. No joke, it had people genuinely crashing out with the things this dude was doing to them. First things first, if you identify yourself as this guy, count your days, because you 100% have a bounty over your head with the amount of lives you have ruined, bro. And I'm aware I'm only adding fuel to the fire by revealing what style you should equip, being that you just want to make kids mad. But in all honesty, I don't mind seeing that happening. Mikage, without a doubt, is the most annoying secret style you can ever go against. That and time skip Okazu when it comes to defending his serve. Especially in 1v1s though, Mikage gives an edge in defense, which is very important in this game mode, since scoring is very easy if you're just able to place a ball in either corner of the court. But once you have the arms activated, getting a ball over you will be extremely difficult to do, because the hitbox these things have is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not even sure if Kazuna, the flying secret style, can score a point from the sky against Mikage, but you can surely try. And one thing that infuriates players even more than just regular blocking has to be back tilt blocking, because you're really just adding salt to the wound by putting the ball over and behind the player, making it very hard to retrieve due to the speed in which it's going down. So just to give you a quick warning, use this card at your own risk. Serving is a very crucial part in the meta we are in, and really in every single one since the game's release. So if you want to base your game solely on your serves, the best styles to use are the twins and time skip Okazu. Okazu is very simple to explain, since the only ability he has is hitting the ball with an insane amount of power, which when the opponents interact with, makes them become paralyzed for a noticeable amount of time. This style is very normalized in 2v2 since it has the greatest impact on compared to any other game mode. Say for example, someone serves with time skip Okazu and your teammates become paralyzed, the second touch will more than likely be outside of the court, making your third touch most likely be a bump or some very easy spike to react to. Now the twins don't have this ability, but in my opinion has an even better one when talking about Volleyball Legends as a whole. Their curve serve can really make the ball land anywhere on the court, almost even curving back to your side. The amount of power you have your serve bar at affects where and how fast your serve will go, so I advise you to experiment with the twins if you want to be consistent with your hits. And I would add Jinko to the list, but his is just a worse version of the twins. In my opinion, the most satisfying type of player to watch, the glider relies heavily on delays, tricking the opponent into hitting their defense binds earlier than they were supposed to. Back tilts are also a key component that makes this type of player great, because since they rely on waiting until the other team no longer has their hands up, usually they will end up on eye level to the net. And that is why back tilting is necessary here, since it allows your spike to travel with power compared to if you just spike with nothing, in which in this situation will probably say too low to spike. And the secret playstyle that can make these players shine the brightest has to be Sonu. The best secret style in my opinion. This guy can really do it all. And I'm so glad he's one of the secrets who stays all year round no matter what other limited cards there might be. Max jump going along with this card is a deadly combination. And to this day, I firmly believe every player should learn volleyball with him if you have hopes of becoming a top spiker in the future. And the most important thing for you guys is that once you start posting your gliding clips on TikTok, give your boy a shout out. Please, if you've ever thought you were bad at this game, more likely than not it might have to do with how compatible you are with the style you're using. Some people just mesh better with different characters, so figure out what kind of person you are to truly determine which one of these guys will bring out the best in you. But nevertheless, everything comes with practice, so if you're serious about leveling up your game, buy my Volleyball Legends course that will teach you everything you need to know about.
Oh man, what the fuck, man?
Okay, I'm obviously trolling about that part, but in all seriousness, you are only as good as what you think of yourself. So think big, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.